She was quite known for her feisty personality.
Feeling that we got when they came out with the baby, we couldn't miss it again. We couldn't miss this one.
The King's Guards are famous for their discipline, emotionless expressions, and strict refusal to break character no matter what happens around them. But during one unforgettable royal moment involving Princess Charlotte, something completely unexpected occurred. In front of stunned onlookers, one guard appeared to abandon protocol for a brief act of kindness that instantly captured hearts across the world. The rare interaction quickly spread online, leaving many royal fans deeply emotional. So, what exactly happened between Princess Charlotte and the royal guards that made this moment so extraordinary? Do you think there's something about Princess Charlotte that makes even the most serious guards soften? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. To help us create more videos and uncover the latest royal moments, please subscribe. The moment royal protocol softens. Royal guards are trained to be unreadable. No matter who passes in front of them, they are expected to remain still, focused, and completely in control of their emotions. Their duty is to stand like living statues, showing no reaction, no matter how busy or dramatic the world around them becomes. That is what makes a rare moment involving Princess Charlotte so surprising and so widely talked about. Because around Charlotte, something unusual seems to happen that people do not expect from such strict and disciplined settings. The same guards known for their serious discipline sometimes appear to soften when she is nearby, as if the usual rules of complete emotional control briefly loosen. A small smile may show, a glance may change, or a subtle reaction may slip through before they return to their normal strict posture. Because of this, many observers begin to ask the same question again and again about what makes Princess Charlotte different in moments like these. Is it her natural presence, her youthful energy, or simply the way she interacts with people around her calmly and effortlessly? Whatever the reason, it creates moments that stand out in an environment where perfection and restraint are usually the rule. And in those brief moments, even the most disciplined faces seem to remind us that human reactions can appear in the most unexpected places. That is why this simple question continues to spread among people who notice these rare and unplanned interactions in public life. For some, it is just a charming detail. For others, it becomes a sign that even the most formal traditions still leave room for small human moments. Over time, these small observations grow into stories that people enjoy sharing, adding a softer side to a world often seen as strictly formal and distant. And so, every time such a moment is seen, it brings back the same curiosity about what truly makes Princess Charlotte stand out so naturally. Perhaps it is a mix of innocence, confidence, and ease that makes people react differently around her. Or perhaps it is simply the way she carries herself without trying to impress anyone, leaving behind small but memorable impressions wherever she goes in all these moments. The royal guards, known for being strict and uncompromising in carrying out their duties, appear to deviate from protocol around Princess Charlotte. But why would such discipline seem to soften for a young royal? Was it simply a mistake by the guards, or did human nature quietly take over in that moment? Now let's explore the rare act of kindness, beyond royal protocol. The most interesting thing about these rare moments is that they are not born from grand royal ceremonies, loud celebrations, or highly planned public appearances. Instead, they often happen in the quietest and most ordinary situations, where nothing seems special at first glance. There are no big speeches, no dramatic movements, and no attention-seeking actions. Just simple everyday interactions that feel almost normal until something small changes the mood. It could be a simple glance from Princess Charlotte, a gentle, curious smile, or the way she quietly looks at people nearby with natural ease. In that brief moment, a royal guard trained to stay still, serious, and fully in control may show a rare reaction that no one expects. A small smile might appear for just a second, the eyes may soften, or the body may shift slightly before returning to strict form. For a moment, discipline meets warmth, creating a rare and human glimpse behind duty. These small moments stand out precisely because they are not supposed to happen. Royal protocol is built on discipline, distance, and control. Guards are taught to be steady and unreadable, no matter what is happening around them. Yet in Charlotte's presence, that strict barrier sometimes seems to loosen, even if only for a moment. It is as if the formality of the royal environment gently fades, replaced by something more relaxed and natural. What makes this even more powerful is that it doesn't look like a loss of discipline. Instead, it feels very human and natural. For a brief moment, the strict and serious attitude softens, revealing something warmer and more real beneath. It shows that behind uniforms and tough training, there are real people who can still feel and react in simple, honest, emotional ways that feel deeply natural and relatable too. But moments like these did not appear without reason. They are shaped by context, atmosphere, and the quiet way people respond to those around them. Something about the interaction, however small, creates a break in routine. And in that tiny break, a different side of the moment is revealed, one that feels less like official duty and more like a genuine human connection, even if it lasts only for a heartbeat before everything returns to normal again. A guard deviates from protocol, responding to Princess Charlotte in a way nobody expected. But what could have caused such a moment of softened discipline? Could it be influenced by her parents' position? Or was it simply an appreciation for the kindness often shown by her mother toward those in uniform? Let's find out. A quiet legacy of warmth. Years before Princess Charlotte ever began appearing regularly at royal events, her mother, Princess Catherine, had already developed a quiet but meaningful connection with military personnel and royal guards. It was never something loud or carefully staged for attention. Instead, it grew slowly over time, through small, natural moments that felt genuine and easy, rather than formal or forced. Princess Catherine's bond with the guards did not come from long speeches or grand public displays. It was built in the quieter space through brief conversations, respectful greetings, and simple actions that carried a sense of warmth. She often showed appreciation in ways that did not break royal protocol, yet still felt deeply human. People began to notice that there was something different in the way she interacted with those who stood in uniform around her. One early example came during her first St. Patrick's Day appearance with the Irish Guards. During the event, she was given traditional shamrocks, a symbol of good luck and celebration. Instead of simply holding them or passing them along quickly, she took her time and carefully presented them to the regiment's mascot thoughtfully and respectfully. On the surface, it looked like a small and simple tradition, something that happens every year. But those watching closely could sense something more in her actions, a quiet warmth, a sense of care, and a genuine appreciation for the moment and the people involved. As time passed, her calm and gentle way of acting slowly became something people naturally noticed and remembered. It was never loud or attention-seeking, but it stayed steady and real. Military staff and guards often felt more at ease around her, as if her presence quietly eased the strict air of formality and made their interactions feel more human, warm, and naturally relaxed in every small moment together. And over the years, as Princess Charlotte has grown and started appearing in public more often, some people have wondered if she has been quietly observing these moments too. Not in a deliberate or obvious way, but simply by being near her mother and watching how she treats others with calm respect and quiet kindness. If so, it may help explain why similar moments of softness and ease sometimes seem to appear around Charlotte as well, continuing a subtle pattern that has been building for years. Over the years, Charlotte's mother has built a strong relationship with military personnel, shaped by mutual respect. But does Charlotte learn this noble trait from her mother, possibly influencing the way guards appear to soften their usual strict protocol around her? Or are her interactions with the guards simply natural and effortless, without any deliberate influence? Let's uncover the details. Silent lessons of royal grace. Young children often understand the world better by watching actions than by listening to words. Over the years, Princess Charlotte has likely learned this lesson naturally by observing Princess Catherine. She watches how her mother acts in public events and in quiet family moments linked to royal duties, picking up manners, kindness, and behavior without being directly taught every day. She has probably watched Princess Catherine crouch down beside veterans, so they never feel small or have to look up. She may have seen her sit with military families as an equal, speaking and listening with real care during moments that matter deeply. These quiet, respectful actions are not always noticed by everyone, but they leave a strong and lasting impression on a child who is observing from the side. These moments do not need speeches or formal teaching. They speak in silence, yet carry a strong message. They remind us that respect is not about titles, uniforms, or high positions. True respect is shown in simple actions, how you treat others, and whether people feel seen, valued, and appreciated in everyday life. It is these quiet actions that reveal real character and lasting human connection every single day. And perhaps this is why Princess Charlotte's interactions often feel so natural and easy. Even in formal royal moments, she sometimes shows a quiet sense of kindness, attention, and real human connection. It is not about breaking tradition, but about showing warmth in a simple, honest way that feels real and effortless. These small moments make her presence feel genuine, soft, and naturally connected to people around her, her warmth. Over time, these quiet lessons can shape how a young person understands the world around them, not through instruction alone, but through observation and repeated experience in everyday life. What seems small to adults can feel very important to a child who is paying close attention to tone, behavior, and emotional atmosphere. In this way, respect, kindness, and awareness are learned slowly, almost without noticing, until they become part of how someone naturally responds to others. And when that happens, even formal environments can sometimes feel a little softer, more human, and more connected than expected. That is the quiet power of example, especially when it comes from someone a child trusts and watches closely every day. It leaves a lasting impression without a word. Princess Charlotte has indeed learned a lot from her mother's humble interactions with military personnel. But does the young princess have the confidence to put what she has learned into practice? How confident is she at public events, and how comfortable does she feel in the spotlight? Let's find out. The quiet poise of Princess Charlotte. Over the years, many people have noticed something quite interesting about Princess Charlotte. Even in big crowds and at important royal events, she often appears calm, relaxed, and very at ease. Her wave to the public looks natural, as if it comes effortlessly and without practice. She rarely seems distracted, and she often stays focused on the people and moments around her, watching carefully and responding in a thoughtful, gentle way that draws quiet admiration from onlookers everywhere around. Because of this, some observers say she carries herself with a quiet confidence that feels beyond her age. In many public appearances, she is sometimes described as the steady point among her siblings, especially in busy or overwhelming moments. People often note that she seems both confident enough to take the lead and gentle enough to make others feel at ease. This combination of calm presence and natural warmth is what many find most striking about her personality in public settings. And over time, this has led some people to believe that her influence is felt even in small, quiet interactions. In certain moments, even those around her, including royal guards, are said to respond in slightly softer and more human ways. It is not something dramatic, but rather small and subtle shifts that people sometimes notice only afterward. Over time, these observations have become part of a wider public curiosity about how she affects the atmosphere around her. Some people believe it comes from her calm way of carrying herself, while others think it is her natural ability to connect with people without trying too hard. Whatever the reason, her presence often leaves a quiet but lasting mark on those who see her at public events. This is why many feel there is something special in how she brings together calmness and kindness in a simple, natural way that people remember for a long time after meeting her or watching her speak in person at public gatherings. Over time, these small impressions grow into a larger picture in the minds of observers, shaping how they understand her presence in public life. It is not about perfection or trying to stand out, but about a natural way of being that feels calm, steady, and easy to relate to even in formal environments. This is why many continue to watch her closely, seeing in her quiet confidence a reflection of both gentle upbringing and growing public role over time, unfolding naturally still. Beyond Princess Charlotte's comfort and confidence, which have made her endearing to many, what is expected in a military environment? And why does her interaction with the guards receive so much attention? Let's delve into the details. The unexpected human moments. Military environments are usually built on strict order, clear discipline, and a carefully followed structure. Every movement has a purpose. Every moment is planned. People know where to stand, when to speak, and how to behave. There is very little room for mistakes, and even less room for surprise. Everything is meant to stay controlled from beginning to end. But even in these highly organized settings, unexpected things sometimes happen. And when they do, they tend to stand out more than anything else. During military visits, there have been moments where sudden laughter breaks through during safety demonstrations, even when everyone is trying to remain serious. A small slip, a harmless mistake, or an unexpected reaction can turn a formal presentation into something lighter and more human. In other cases, equipment may not work exactly as planned, or a perfectly rehearsed moment may shift slightly, creating an unplanned reaction from those watching. Even the strictest schedules, built to keep everything orderly and on time, can sometimes bend for a brief moment of real human feeling. A shared glance between two people, a quick smile, or a flash of surprise can quietly break through the seriousness. For just a second, the routine softens, emotions slip in, and then everything gently returns to its usual order again in place as before. These small interruptions may look unimportant at first, but they often become the moments people remember most. Long after formal speeches, perfect formations, and planned ceremonies are forgotten, these unexpected human moments stay in people's minds. They feel more real, more relatable, and more alive than anything carefully rehearsed, because they show true emotion, natural reactions, and honest human connection that people can easily understand and remember more over time. Because in the end, perfect ceremonies are what people expect when they think of military environments. Everything running exactly as planned is the goal. But human moments are different. They are not expected, not planned, and not controlled. And that is exactly why they stand out so strongly when they appear. They remind everyone that behind the uniforms, strict routines, and disciplined faces, there are still real people who can react, feel, and respond naturally when something breaks the pattern, even for just a brief moment, in an otherwise perfectly ordered world. Military environments are usually built around order, discipline, and structure. But does that erase the human nature of military personnel? And how does Princess Charlotte's mother relate to them, which seems to make them relax their strict protocol? Now let's unravel the human side of royal guards and the quiet influence of Princess Catherine. Behind the uniform. It is easy to look at royal guards and only see the uniform they wear. But behind the tall bearskin hats, the sharp movements, and the serious faces, there are real people with thoughts and feelings. Princess Catherine showed this many times during her visits with military personnel and their families. She listened carefully, thanked them sincerely, and always treated them as people first, before anything else. This simple way of behaving may seem small, but it often creates a great change in atmosphere. People tend to relax more when they feel seen and respected. Even soldiers and guards, trained to remain firm and unemotional, sometimes show small signs of easing their strict posture. This does not mean discipline disappears. It means that, for a brief moment, human connection becomes more visible than routine. Over time, these quiet interactions build a feeling that is hard to explain, but easy to notice. And in those moments, even formal settings can feel a little more human than expected. We often forget that behind uniforms are individuals with stories, families, and emotions that shape how they respond to kindness. When someone like Princess Catherine shows patience and careful attention, it quietly changes the mood around her. People begin to feel more relaxed and valued. This is why her visits are often remembered less for royal formality and more for the genuine warmth she brings into the moment. And over time, these small acts of respect can quietly influence how people behave around her and those close to her. It becomes less about duty alone and more about shared human understanding in simple, everyday exchanges. That quiet understanding is often what people remember most, even long after the event has ended. In the end, it is not just about royal duty, but about how small moments of respect can make even the most formal places feel more human and warm. We see this clearly in Princess Catherine's visits, where her calm and kind way of speaking helps lower barriers between people without breaking any royal rules or protocol, gently and naturally. These are the moments that reveal the human side of structured environments, showing that respect and kindness can quietly reshape even the most disciplined settings. We are reminded that connection matters more than formality in small but meaningful ways. These moments quietly stay with people forever and are always remembered. Princess Catherine has repeatedly shown kind gestures during visits with military personnel and their families. But does her kindness toward the military always make headlines? Or is it the guards' warm and respectful reactions to her and her family that draw more attention? Let's find out. Beyond ceremony and protocol. Funny enough, the moments that travel the fastest across the world are rarely the biggest royal ceremonies or the most carefully planned events. It is not the grand speeches, the long processions, or the perfectly timed formations that people talk about the most afterward. Those are expected. They are polished, rehearsed, and designed to look flawless from start to finish. Instead, what people tend to remember are the small, unexpected moments that happen in between. A quick smile that appears and disappears in seconds. A hidden laugh that slips out before anyone can stop it. A glance between two people that lasts only a moment but feels strangely meaningful. These tiny details often stay in people's minds far longer than the official parts of the event. This is because viewers are not only watching royal ceremonies for tradition or formality, they are also searching for something deeper and more human. They want to catch small moments that show real life beneath the strict rules, polished ceremonies, and silent discipline. Behind the uniforms, traditions, and controlled behavior, people are curious about what feels natural, real, and not carefully planned or rehearsed for display in everyday moments, too. That is why even the smallest break in routine can feel so powerful. A royal guard, trained to stand still and remain expressionless, is expected to act as if nothing can move or distract them. Their job is to stay serious no matter what is happening around them. But when a guard briefly reacts, maybe a slight smile, a quick change in expression, or a short moment of surprise, it becomes something people immediately notice. It feels different because it is not meant to happen. It is outside the plan. That is why it stands out so strongly. For a brief moment, the strict line between duty and human feeling begins to fade. In that short moment, viewers feel they have seen something hidden, something not meant for public eyes. It feels like a real human reaction slipping through the careful control of tradition, order, and discipline that usually never breaks. In those quiet moments, it feels unexpectedly real and human, slipping. These are the moments that spread, not because they are big, but because they feel honest. They remind people that even in the most formal settings, human reactions still exist quietly underneath. Unusual moments, such as a guard briefly breaking character for Princess Charlotte, tend to spread across the world very quickly. But what does this reflect about Charlotte's personality? Could she possess an exceptional quality that causes even the most highly trained guards to soften? Let's uncover the details. Beneath royal tradition and discipline. Perhaps Princess Charlotte is not trying to make anyone smile at all. Maybe she is simply being herself. But that innocence creates something powerful. Because for a few unexpected seconds, rules disappear. Formality fades. Guards stop feeling like statues. They become people. And maybe that is why these rare moments keep capturing attention around the world. Not because someone broke protocol, but because kindness, especially when nobody expects it, can be impossible not to respond to. It often begins in the smallest ways: a glance, a gentle expression, or a brief moment that most people miss. Yet for those who notice, it lingers in their memory long after everything has ended, growing clearer over time and becoming something they quietly think about again and again in their minds. Always there. In a world filled with strict traditions and carefully followed rules, these brief breaks feel even more meaningful. They remind people that behind uniforms and titles are real humans who react, feel, and connect in simple ways. And in those fleeting seconds, the distance between duty and emotion becomes softer, almost invisible. That is why these moments travel far beyond where they happen. They speak to something everyone understands, even without words. It is the quiet reminder that human warmth can appear anywhere, even in the most formal places. And once it appears, even briefly, it is hard for people to forget. Perhaps that is the real reason these moments feel so powerful. They are not about breaking rules, but about revealing something deeper that rules cannot fully contain. In that way, Princess Charlotte's presence in public life becomes part of a larger picture people are still trying to understand. And within that picture, even the smallest human reaction feels like a story worth telling. It is gentle, unexpected, and deeply human in a setting that is usually defined by control. And that contrast is what makes it stay in people's minds. Because in the end, people do not only remember perfection, they remember the moments where perfection briefly stepped aside and something real appeared. And that is where the true power of these rare moments quietly lives. Not in ceremony, but in a simple human connection. In the quiet spaces between duty and tradition, a small gesture, a soft look, or an unplanned reaction can change how a moment is remembered, turning something formal into something deeply relatable and human, reminding everyone watching that even within the most controlled environments, warmth can still appear naturally, and when it does, it leaves behind a feeling that lasts far longer than the moment itself ends in quiet ways we often overlook completely now. What do you think about guards softening around Charlotte? Does she naturally bring out warmth even in the most serious people? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.